Welcome dear students to another class of computer applications. Today we are going to talk about cloud computing. So cloud computing, as the name suggests, it means cloud means you can say a cloud can be found anywhere and anytime. So whenever we are moving from one place to another place, you will find clouds. Okay. So similarly, cloud computing is a concept through which we can access the services over using internet, okay, anywhere anytime. That is, it is available for us 24/7. So you can say that cloud computing is an emerging trend in the field of information technology, where computer based services are delivered over the internet, so that you can say that as a cloud. So for the case of their accessibility from anywhere using any smart device, so that is cloud computing. So as we all know that there are many apps like Urban Clap, etc. So what this Urban Clap and then this Ola and Uber, what they are doing is they're just providing us the services. Like we are booking a cab, and that after getting that cab, we just that person will pick us from that particular point and drop us to a destination. So for what we are paying for that person is for the service. That person is not giving you their car for driving, etc., but what you are getting is a service. So similarly, you are paying for a service. In the same way, you are getting an electricity and you are paying the amount, how much electricity you are utilizing. So similarly, in cloud computing also, you have to pay for the services. Okay. So the services comprises software, hardware. Hardware include physical component like servers and PCs, etc., database, storage, etc. So these resources are provided by companies called cloud service providers, and usually they charge on pay per use basis, like the way we pay the electricity bill, water bill, etc. Okay, so we already use cloud services. Like in your phone you are using Google Drive. So what Google Drive is doing, it is saving your images, files, etc. So while storing your pictures and files as a backup on internet, or a host a website on a internet, through cloud computing a user can run a bigger application or process a large amount of data without having the required storage or processing power on their personal computer, as long as they are connected to the internet. So for using cloud service, there should be an internet connection. Without internet connection, we can't access the cloud computing. Okay, I'm just quoting another example. Like we are using a Netflix, or you can say Hotstar, or other like streaming platform. So for that, what you have to do is you have to take a subscription. Like initially you have to pay some amount, and then you can use it for month or 2 month, 3 month, whatever subscription you are taking. So for that time you are using it. So by subscribing that thing, you are using that services for that particular duration, and after that duration, it is asking you to get more number of months, etc., if the time is about to finish. So if you are not purchasing the next month subscription, or when the time is over, then it will not give you the remaining services. Like you can't access the movies and series, etc. So that is, we are paying for the services that we are getting. Okay. So besides other number of features, cloud computing offer cost effectiveness, on demand resources. A user can avail need based resources from the cloud at a very reasonable cost. So it depends on the user. So for how much time they want to use that service, and then they can discontinue. So that means we can add the resources, we can remove the resources as per the requirement. So that is cloud computing. Okay. So in here in the diagram, you can see that with the devices like laptop, server, desktop, tablets, phones, these are the devices that are accessing the cloud services. So see here, we what we can access is, we can access the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and applications. So infrastructure include computer, virtual computer, block storage like for backup, etc., network components, etc. Platform means operating system, objects, databases, queue, runtime, identity, object storage. So maybe few terms are very new to you, but don't worry about that. But just remember this thing, that infrastructure means the physical components you can use, like virtual infrastructure, Okay, and platform means like whatever operating system or other platforms that you want to run, like programming language, etc., that is provided as a service through platform as a service. And applications means like Google Docs we are using, and for finance, communication, collaboration, content, monitoring something. So that is also provided by cloud computing as in application as a service. So this diagram shows the cloud computing. Next diagram is here it is shown that real life examples of cloud computing. So cloud computing can be used is used in email. If all of us are using email, so email is the best example of cloud computing. So for that you don't have to that emails are not saved on your particular phone or in your desktop. They are on the cloud. So whenever you are having that internet with you, you can access your email with your login id and password. So that is the best example that we are all are using. And nowadays in every application, like whatever application we are downloading or whenever we are taking a new phone, it is asking you to sign up with your account. And many of us are using Gmail as a mail facility. Okay, so that Gmail, that is Google Mail, it is also providing you a cloud storage, that is Google Drive. Okay, and apart from Gmail or email, we can use backup personal information in real life. For that we don't need a particular backup system at your PC. No local storage is required for virtual meeting, like we are doing virtual calls. Okay, collaborations, for setting up virtual office, like we are taking virtual or online classes, so that is available with our email id or we are doing on the cloud. Extra processing power. So these are the basic examples of real life examples of cloud applications. Okay, next is, here you can see the cloud architecture or structure. So in this, we as a user, we are accessing the facilities through devices, and these devices are connected with router or internet service provider, that is with internet. Okay, all of us are using, like we are doing this live class, or I'm using this YouTube channel. So the YouTube video I am uploading with the help of internet, and this live class is also going on with the help of internet. So we are using internet facility, and this internet is provided by some internet service provider. So similarly here also, we as a user are using device, and that is connected with the other devices like router, etc. Okay, and then that device is connected with the cloud, and through that we can access the facilities that are available on the cloud. Next is benefits of cloud computing. So here you can see the benefits of cloud computing. First is applications as utilities over internet. So you can access the applications as per your need. Okay, you can manipulate and configure applications online. No software is required. Online development can be possible with the cloud computing, and deployment, that means delivery of that particular product, can be there with deployment tools. Resources are available on network. On demand service, self service is also there, through which users are able to provision, monitor and manage computing resources as needed without the help of human administration. Cost effective, as per the use you can pay according to that. You can check up the plans, and then according to your budget you can go to switch on to the particular plans. Okay, and high efficiency, reliability and flexibility is there. So let's talk about types of clouds. So the cloud computing is divided into two models. First is deployment model, second is service model. This service model is out of your syllabus, so we will talk about only deployment model. So deployment model shows the types of clouds. So types of clouds are categorized into 4 parts. 3 are shown here and 1 more is there. First is public cloud. Public cloud, it is a cloud that is available for all of us. Private cloud means that is purchased by a particular organization, and hybrid cloud is combination of public as well as private. And another type of cloud is there, that is community cloud. So let's talk about these clouds one by one. So see here, first is public cloud. So a public cloud is provisional for open use by general public. As the name suggests, it is available for public purposes. It has no boundaries, and cloud infrastructure can be used by anyone, anywhere over the internet. That means like Google Drive with Gmail account, we can access it. Next is private cloud. So a private cloud is owned and used by a single organization over a private network. It centralizes the resources of the organization so that they can be accessed easily by its own various department offices and different locations. The meaning of private cloud is that it is associated with a particular organization, or you can say company, and its employees only can use that particular cloud. It is not available for other company employees. Okay. Next is hybrid cloud. Hybrid, as the name suggests, it is combination of public as well as private. So hybrid cloud is a combination of both public and private cloud. This type of clouds offer benefits of multiple deployment models such as controlled environment in private clouds and rapid elasticity of public clouds. Next is community cloud. Community cloud, as the name suggests, it is used by a community. That means one or more organization, they can collaborate together so that they can share the same concerns like application, system requirement, policy, efficiency, etc. So you can say it may be owned, managed and operated by one or more of the organization in a community or as a third party. That means a few companies, they are collecting together, collaborating together to share the resources. So such type of cloud is known as community. Here you can see the name of cloud service providers. First is Huawei, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform and Microsoft Azure. These are the most important cloud service providers. They are the top 5 or 4 cloud service providers. So let's talk about the advantages of cloud computing. First is cost saving. With the cloud computing, as it is based on pay per use, so we can pay as much as services we are utilizing. That means we can say it is pay per use model, and business or consumers can significantly lower the company's IT expenses and requirement. That means, as we have seen, that it depends on the user's requirement. It also provide access to numerous storage facilities like hard disks and servers, etc., and applications, which in turn save the consumers from spending a lot of money on the server setup and installation cost, etc. Okay, I think this point is clear. Second is reliability. Reliability means on cloud storages we can trust them. Okay, so cloud computing is much more reliable when it comes to data management, backup and recovery from failures. It provides you with redundant IT resources. That means you can find various types of resources. Automatic data backup will be there, as well as quick failover mechanism is there. So it is reliable, trustworthy. Third is unlimited free storage. You don't have to worry about the storage facility, that as all the content is going to be stored on the cloud. So cloud provide unlimited free and secure storage space to store large amount of information, and users can also choose among the public, private and hybrid cloud depending on their security needs. Okay. Next type of advantage is accessibility. So as we all know that clouds allows easy access to cloud based services and applications through internet enables devices such as desktops, tablet or mobile phone. It is accessible through different types of devices. Okay, so this is about the advantages. Now let's talk about some disadvantages also. So cloud computing disadvantages are technical issues. Clouds may provide accessibility to services and applications anytime and from anywhere. But there are some times when this system encounters serious technical problems, which may lead to entire business process being temporarily suspended. That means it can be on hold, server down problem can be there, etc. These are the technical issues. Second point is security. Although clouds provide very secure mechanism or best security standards, encryption methods are used, but storing the company's sensitive data and important files on the third party cloud services, it always opens up security risks also will be there. Okay, so it depends on user what type of security they want. Third point is vendor lock-in. This vendor lock-in means whenever we are accessing cloud services, cloud service providers ensures that the cloud will be flexible to users and integrate. But switching from one cloud service to another is not so simple. So it may lead to portability and supporting issues will be there. Like if you are switching your phone from iOS to Android, okay, and Android to iOS. So this type of vendor lock-in problem will be there. Vendor lock-in means switching from one cloud to another cloud, or switching from one technology to another technology that is different in terms of resources. Okay. Fourth is limited control. Since cloud infrastructure is entirely owned, managed, and monitored by the service provider, so the consumer has very little control over the application, data, and services. So these are the disadvantages of cloud computing. That's all. Let's talk about social networking. As the name suggests, social networking means creating a network of people who are having common interests. So, in the present scenario, due to hectic schedules, people hardly get enough time to socialize with friends and relatives. So, the solution of this problem is social networking. Social networking is the grouping of individuals into specific groups who shares common interest and activity. All of you are having a social networking account, that is Facebook. So this social networking websites helps people to in establishing a social relationship and functions like online community of internet users. That means we can say in social networking websites every user has to create a profile which contains information about them, and users can join that community using the sites, and where they can share their photos, messages, and videos. And the other users, if somebody is interested in want to join their website, so they can have the facility of inviting other people to join these websites. So user profile often have a section that is dedicated to comments from friends and other users. Okay, that means persons can like the other person comment, and they can reply also. Okay, so in order to protect user privacy, there are some settings. These websites usually have control that allows the users to choose who can view their profile, contact them, add them to their list of contacts, and so on. But in traditional social networking site, this privacy facility was not as proper as now it is today. Okay, so which implies that anyone can become a member irrespective of their views and interest in earlier systems. Okay, but nowadays large organizations have started using social networking websites as a medium of creating profiles to advertise their product and services. That means through social networking site, one can promote their business and their like commercial activities, etc. Okay, selling goods, etc. They can use the social networking sites. Next is some major networking sites. So all of you know about these major networking site. First is Facebook. So Facebook is a social networking site with nearly 2 billion active users, or it is more. It is just an approximation taken here. Okay, so users continue to lead the social networking site. This social networking site Facebook, it allows the registered users to create their profile, post comments, exchange information, sharing links, photographs, chat, games, etc. Although initially it was this Facebook was launched for PCs, that is personal computer, but now it is available for all the types of smart devices like phones, tablets, etc. Okay, next social networking site is Twitter. Twitter means it is a, you can say, microblogging site. That means in this we can create a short message. Earlier 140 characters, that is word limit, was there, but now it is 240 or 280 characters. That is 280 characters are allowed in Twitter, and this is used through smartphones, and it is widely used by the high profile or professionals persons. Okay, so this is about Twitter. That is also a social networking site. Let's see some other social networking applications. First is Instagram. This is particularly for sharing photographs by the users. Okay, this is the symbol of Instagram, you can see here. The next one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a networking app that is used for profession info, that is used for sharing professional and business information. Okay, particularly for that purposes. Their user can create their professional background profile and can share the information related to business and other professional knowledges. Okay, Reddit is a social news aggregation app that can be used for where users can upload news, stories, links. That means sharing of news. Okay, the stories with the most up voters are moved to the top of the category. That means that the story that is having more votes, that will appear top at the top. Okay, So these are the symbols and these are the names of these social networking apps. Let's talk about data and information. Data means the raw facts and figures that are available to us in computers. Okay, so we can say data refers to a collection of numbers, characters, symbols, images. Okay, so you see here examples, digits, all the digits, numbers, alphabets, RAM, age, word, or anything that comes under the category of data. Information means when we process data or when we organize data, then it is called as information. So see here, Ram age is 32 years. Now it is in some context with the given data. So now we are arranging this data. Ram age is 32 years. Now it is giving some information about Ram, that Ram age is 32 years. If I will write 32, that you can't conclude that what is 32. 32 is a number, but what it is depicting, it is not it can be an age, it can be a weight, it can be a number, or marks, a score. Okay, it can be anything. But when we use it in a context, then it becomes an information. So information is processed form of data. So let's talk something more about data and information. So see, this is the diagram that depicts data, and then after processing data, it becomes an information. So data are facts and statistics that used for reference or analysis, numbers, characters, symbols, images, etc. They are used by the computers and we call them data. Or we can say a representation of information is known as data, interpreted by human or machine to derive its meaning. So raw or unprocessed form is known as data, and information is derived from a study, experience, or instruction. A communication of intelligence and the interpretation of facts is known as information, that is processed form of data or output. Okay, next topic is multimedia. As the name suggests, multimedia, it means it is having different types of mediums. That can be an audio, video, image, graphical, animated file, or different types of files, you can say. So multimedia can be termed as a combination of different types of media. Media includes text, audio, graphics, animation, video, interactivity to convey information. So you can say multimedia, it involves the use of computers to present text. Text means alphabet. Graphics means images. Okay, video, animations, sounds, etc. So multimedia can include different range of formats for a file and PowerPoint slides to show complex or simulated types of information. In most cases, it enhances users' experience and results in easier and faster understanding of presented information. Okay, so see here, this is the multimedia formats. Multimedia formats means that sound files, they are having some type or extension. Audio file is also having some extension. So most common way to discover the media is by looking at the type of extension. If a file is having .htm or HTML extension, then we can say it is a web page. Okay, similarly, if a file is having an extension .gif and .jpg, we can say it is a picture format file. That means it is an image file. Okay, similarly for sound, .au, .mp3, this says that it is an audio file. mp3 means moving pictures expert group. MPEG can be MPEG or it can be MP3. Okay, so similarly for video, MPEG format, or you can say MP4 format is there, or .avi format, or .mwmv. These are the different extensions that are used for videos. Okay, so next let's talk about multimedia elements. Now in multimedia elements, we are having text. Text means characters or alphabet. Okay, so the most fundamental element of any multimedia project is text. We always use text with the website or any presentation. Okay, so text-based information can be gathered from CD or internet, and applications, that is Photoshop, PowerPoint, etc. They are used for creating a visual effect to the text, or that makes it appealing to the audience. Okay, next type of element is graphics. So graphics can incorporate into multimedia in the form of photographs, or designs. Graphics can be still or it can be a moving, such as we can take graphics from internet, digital camera, scanner or CD resources, Art Mania to 20,000, 12,000, and this graphic design can be created with applications such as Hyper Studio, Movie Maker and Photoshop. These are used to create graphics. Okay. Next multimedia element is sound. So sound can be added to a multimedia presentation from a variety of sources. Or original sounds can be recorded using microphone. So here, as in the video, you can you can listen the audio that I am sharing with you. So it is example of multimedia. Here I am sharing this PPT as well as audio also. Okay, so this audio can be recorded with microphone. So these applications as well as QuickTime Pro, these are used for importing sounds from CD or internet, or apart from that we can use Hyper Studio, Movie Maker or Smart Sound for inserting sound. Similarly, next element is video. So moving images or video can be incorporated in the multimedia in the form of QuickTime Movies, QuickTime Pro, Hyper Studio, Movie Maker. They can be used for recording a video. So these programs can also import movies from internet or from the CD, DVDs, movies that can depict 360-degree panorama or a movable object can also be incorporated into multimedia project. That means through smartphone or digital cameras you can capture videos and then you can import them in your movies and other multimedia projects. Okay, animations also we can include. Graphics that contain movements are often referred to as animations, or animation files can be downloaded from the internet in the form of animated GIF. You have also created these animations in class 8th. Also you have created movies, so that is an example of this multimedia. Okay, so by using this Hyper Studio, Movie Maker, you can create and edit both frame and the path of the animations. Okay, next type of element is now let's talk about applications of multimedia. Now this multimedia is used in almost every field of life. So there are some applications area that are depicted here. First is entertainment and fine arts. This multimedia is widely used in entertainment industry, especially to add special effects in movies and animation. Bahubali movie, I thought you have seen. So in that also many animated things or special effects are given. Okay, multimedia games are very popular, video games or multimedia games. Okay, some video games also use multimedia features. Multimedia applications allows user to participate actively instead of just sitting in passive recipient. It provide more interaction. Okay, so these are multimedia artists. There are multimedia artists who has the ability to blend the technology using different types of media, incorporating interactive viewers. Another approach is the multimedia. It is also used in art galleries. Digital recording material is often used in museum. They are playing this audio and multimedia projects on their screens to take the audience attention. Okay, so this is an application of multimedia in entertainment and fine arts. Next is education. So this pandemic corona scenario, it is the best example of using multimedia in education. All of your teachers are giving you lecture through multimedia, audio visual effects. Okay, so in education, multimedia is used to produce CBT, that is computer based training courses, and books like encyclopedia, etc. So CBT helps the users to go through series of presentations. So here you can see a presentation. Okay, with the presentation you will see the text also, images also. Okay, so entertainment is an informal term used to describe the blend of education with entertainment. Especially multimedia entertainers, they are using the animated videos to show the concepts of practicals. Okay, so this is also used by different universities for distance learning, etc. But now in this scenario, this multimedia is used for imparting education to the schools and students. Okay, next is journalism. Journalism means this newspapers, they are also using multimedia content. They are presenting text with the images, graphics and other multimedia content. So news reporting is not limited to traditional media outlets. Freelancer journalisms, they can use different types of media to present the news stories, and news agencies can now engage global audience and tell stories using technology by focusing on particular story, by showing animations of that particular simulation, etc. Okay, so it is also used in engineering. In engineering, software engineers use multimedia for computer simulation by like giving the demo of aeroplane, how pilot can control that with the help of simulation. So, okay, similarly for ships also, and for representing the 3D shapes, etc. Okay, for example, a scientist can look at a molecular model of a particular substance and manipulate it, arrive at a new substance. So with that type of simulations, it gives you the feeling of that particular material. Okay, so it is used in engineering. Apart from engineering, it is also used in industry and medicine. So in the industry sector, multimedia is used to present important information to the clients, stakeholders, supervisors, co-workers. So it is also helping in providing employee training. Okay, they can they can promote their brands, they can help in marketing, positioning the things. Or maybe you have seen in the cities that you will find the LCDs, and these LCDs are depicting the advertisement of certain product in the loop. So that is just a promotion, brand promotion of something or some advertisement. So it is used by the industry. And in medicine also, medical sector, doctors can be trained by showing virtual surgeries, and they can simulate how the human body is affected by the disease, spread of bacteria, virus, etc., so that they can develop a techniques that can prevent these types of spread of diseases. So this is all about the applications of multimedia. We have completed this chapter. So this is all about today's class. Thank you, students.